zero money. I've sold my phone just to be able to get a little bit of money again to try and get a room, try and get some food. I got drunk one night and basically ended up trying to commit suicide. And then I ended up smashing the bottle on the floor. I just took the glass and just opened up my wrist. Yeah, it's not saying no one knows about that. Obviously, they will now.
What's the story, everybody? Pete here from Thairish Times. Hope you're doing well. Do I have an interview for you today? Wow, it's quite a powerful one. I've divided it into two parts. So this is going to be part one. Part two will be coming shortly. So in part one, we're going to meet Mark from England, who's going to talk about how he started a business in Patong Phuket, which failed. Mark ended up going broke. He ended up being homeless on the streets of Phuket, then homeless in Bangkok. He's going to talk about that period of his life and the generosity of the Thai people who kept him alive during that time. Then he was befriended by a group of Tuk Tuk drivers in Bangkok who work out of the lower Sukhumvit area, Nana and Soi 11. Mark ended up working for them for a while. He'll talk about that. Then he's going to talk about how he ended up in the IDC, the Immigration Detention Center, and then how he ended up going from there to a Thai prison. So we got lots of detail, lots of stories, lots of context in this interview. It is quite a long one, but I didn't want to edit anything out and dilute the interview, so it's all in there. Then coming up in part two, we have Mark's time inside a Thai prison, the conditions, sleeping shoulder to shoulder on the ground with 70 prisoners in a cell, prison fights, being stripped naked in front of 500 people, how he was able to make it back to the UK while saving the life of another prisoner in the process. That's part two. I will say this, I don't normally say this at the start of an interview, but I'm going to say it here. It would be very easy to go to town on Mark in the comment sections and say this guy's made terrible decisions. You know, it'd be very, very easy to write a lot of nasty comments. But if you get to the end of part two and you watch part two, you'll see that Mark has been through a lot. His mental health is on the floor. He's only been back in the UK 6 weeks. So just bear that in mind when you're writing your comments. The way I was raised, the way I think about it is you don't kick a man when he's down. You try and help him up if you can. And if you're going to write a nasty comment, ask yourself, would you say it to his face? All right, let's get straight into the video, folks. Hope you enjoy it. Cheers. Mark.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming on. I kind of, I know the gist of your story, but you have the main, the story we all want to know.
Yeah.
Let's go, I suppose, all the way back to the very beginning. Tell everybody how you made the move from England to Thailand.
Yeah. Basically, I got during COVID, I had a bit of inheritance come through, and it wasn't enough to do anything to change my life in England. So obviously, to start a business, things like this in England, it's expensive, but it was enough to sort of be able to start up a business in Thailand. So obviously, everyone knows it's a lot cheaper out there to do everything.
Had you been to Thailand before?
No, I hadn't. No, so I chose to go there on a holiday, sort of check it out. I had friends from England that already live out there. That sort of own businesses and things like that. So they sort of gave me a few ins and outs. I already had sort of friends based in Phuket, but my main friends were over in Bangkok. So,
and then what was the business idea that you had?
Well, it was just that they legalised the cannabis industry. So I started a cannabis shop. And then I also had rooms upstairs, which I was going to do up and rent out. So it was like a 4-story building.
And which part of Phuket?
I was right on Bangla Road.
Bangla Road, okay.
Yeah, the walking street.
Okay, Bangla Road, walking street. Okay, how did you, what was the process to set that up? Was it easy to set up?
It was quite easy. I was sort of searching. So I said, originally I went on there on holiday for 3 weeks. I've done the usual thing. I've gone there, I'm in the nightclub, started talking to a girl. We've ended up sort of quite liking each other. She sort of spent the whole 3 weeks time with me. Sort of travelled Thailand, went Bangkok, went over to PP, went down in Pattaya. And yeah, we sort of done a bit of travelling together, sort of spoke about me coming back and starting up the business. So I've gone back to England. I was back in England for 2 weeks and I just hated it. I just hated being back. The weather, it was around November time. Thinking about just going back to a standard 9-to-5 job. I was thinking, no, this is not what I want to do. So sort of decided to start looking online at businesses for sale in Thailand. Basically, joined all the Facebook groups, things like that. I got her to obviously look. She was living in Phuket. Got her to look for places. Yeah, we ended up finding a building on Bangor Road that someone was selling their company. So I just had to do the changeover of the names of the company and sort of buy the company direct from them, and then rent the building that they already had. So that was sort of pretty straightforward. Sort of lawyers and everything like that. They already had the lawyers and everything. So I mean, I personally now looking back on it, I think I overpaid for a lot of things, being my first time out there and being sort of quite young compared to a lot of business people out there.
How
Um,
much you pay?
I paid 1.2 million baht for the company. Um, so like the takeover for the company. It was then another 500,000 baht key money for the shop, 200,000 baht deposit, and then 60,000 baht a month rent I was paying for the shop.
And was that all in your name?
Yeah, well, it's 4951, so it was mine and my girlfriend's at the time name. We obviously started the club, we done the company together. So yeah, she owned 51% and I owned the 49.
And you put all the
Yeah,
cash in, it
yeah.
was all your cash.
Yeah, it was all my money. Same with the condo we got together. Um, when I got a nice condo up in Katu in Phuket, a little bit out of the sort of way from the tourist zone. Um, and yeah, sort of like when I first got there, I thought I was living the absolute dream. 32, sort of starting a business, lovely condo, sort of drive nice cars, like living right on the beach every day, good food. Yeah, I was sort of living the dream for that at that moment.
And how was the business doing? I mean, Bangalore Roads, it's incredibly busy, but I'm
Yeah,
sure there's a lot of competition for other,
yeah,
cannabis shops or whatever in that area.
yeah. That's one thing I didn't really notice. And I was on a small soy just off of Bangor Road, opposite nightclub Illusion. I was on a soy down there. Um, so the foot traffic wasn't as good. I had to get someone to sort of go and stand on actual Bangor Road. You know, the people with the signs that I'll come down to the shop. Sort of, we've got the best prices and all this. And just on the soy alone that I was on, there was three other shops. So that was quite hard. High season, it done okay, but then for the low season, it wasn't good.
Were you turning a profit?
Uh, no, I never made a profit there because the main reason I got it was to do the rooms upstairs. I had a four-story building which I was going to convert and make it into like a hostel, and then have a few double rooms to rent out. And basically, I'll run out of enough money to be able to convert the building to how I wanted to do it. So yeah, that was where I sort of lost out and was not being able to fully do exactly what I wanted to do with the building.
When you say run out of money, how much do you reckon you put into the business at this stage?
Uh, roughly, I'd say around 2 to 3 million baht overall. I was in. Um, so yeah, about sort of 50, 60,000 pound English. I'd say roughly.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
but yeah, and I was sort of looking for. But again, I was doing the usual thing. I was out partying a lot, sort of trying to live the bit more of a high life out there instead of me just going for a normal party. I was getting the expensive VIP tables, like I said, going for sort of high end condos rather than the sort of cheaper ones, things like that. Sort of, yeah. So I wasn't the best as I could have been with money there myself. Anyway, I was sort of spending above my means, shall we say.
And were you blown through this money with your
Yeah.
girlfriend, partying, living that lifestyle?
Yeah, so to begin with, um, me and my girlfriend at the time, we used to go out partying quite a lot. It was regular in a few nightclubs there. I got quite well known. Um, so like I said, me and her would get a few VIP tables every week. She'd always bring a couple of her friends that would join along. Obviously, I'm buying 2, 3 bottles of drink every night, probably spending around 30,000 baht a night on partying. Um,
Jesus.
yeah, so because that sort of table would cost me about 20. Then sort of obviously all food, a little bits extra. I'd be tipping all the staff, giving all the staff tips afterwards. I'd like my own security in a nightclub that I'd
Oh,
then
I'd say
tip.
everybody loved you.
Yeah, yeah, they did. They saw me coming. But at the time, again, I'm sort of thinking like, oh, as soon as this business kicks off, I'm gonna be good. So this money for me right now is sort of pocket money, if you know what I mean. I didn't expect that I would lose it all and sort of not be able to gain it back. But yeah, I ended up splitting up with a girlfriend, and then again it was when I was single, I was partying quite a lot as well, and sort of it gets a bit more expensive when you're single out there partying.
So what happened when you split up with the girlfriend? She still has 51% of the business.
Yeah, yeah. No, luckily she was quite good in that sense. She ended up moving back to her hometown up north of Thailand. She done everything she needed to do. Like if it was paperwork, she would sign. I could send it to her and she'd sign it. Sometimes I'd have to give her a bit of money to do it, but yeah, she was still. I was quite lucky in that case that she didn't sort of do anything bad with the company. She did want me to try and find someone else to sort of put the company in their name, like find another new investment or new partner. So that's what I then started to do. I started trying to look for someone to invest money into my company so I could get it back and get it to how I wanted to do it. And that's where things started going proper downhill, to be honest, with when I started looking for investors.
How did it start going downhill?
Um, well, I got in with a few people, local people. Sort of one of them sort of promised me the world. Was like I wanted 1.5 million baht to take over 51% of the company. So I needed someone Thai. I sort of said to him like, look, I'm selling 51% of my company. This is my plan. I had a business plan. Sort of saying about I want to do the rooms. Sort of had a return on investment idea of roughly about a year. Once the rooms were sort of rented out and sort of for higher season, had someone was like, yeah, interested, 100%. I'm like, okay, well, I want 20% deposit now. And then when we go to lawyers and sign all the paperwork over, obviously I want the remainder like of the money. They was like, yeah, that's fine. Done all that, and again, I was kind of dating the woman who was wanting to do this, which again, I was mixing a lot of business and pleasure, which I shouldn't have really done. But
Look, it happens. It does
yeah,
happen.
yeah, especially in a place like that, it's one of the only ways you can sort of do it. You can't own a business there without having a tire, and most of the people that you meet out there are sort of the bar girls, the sort of girls in the nightclubs, and especially in an area like Phuket in Patong. So it's
Yeah, I was just
quite
gonna
hard for
say
me.
Bangla Road. You're in
Yeah,
that life, that environment.
yeah. So every day I'm sort of there. So they were the sort of people I know and sort of the people that I thought I could trust. But yeah, this woman, she was like I said, I already knew she was a little bit crazy from dating her. Do you know what I mean? Quite some females are. Yeah, she was like, "Yeah, I want to do the business with you. I want to do the business." She had a small business herself already, doing like sort of a laundry business in Patong as well, which done okay. She had like her own place. Like, do you know what I mean? She didn't sort of rely on me for money or things like that. So I was sort of thinking like, okay, yeah, this one's a little bit different. She never asked me for anything. Like, she didn't come live with me straight away. She wanted like her own space and everything. She was a little bit older as well, so that sort of helped. And then basically all of a sudden, she's completely changed her mind and gone, no, I don't want to do this business anymore. Basically, I personally think she couldn't get the rest of the money for it and tried to make an excuse. She's then said that she already given me nearly 400,000 baht as like the deposit. She's then sort of said to me, I've now got to pay this back. I've already used that deposit, put it back into the business, sort of paying rent. And at this time, I was like 3 months behind on rent. So I sort of put that back in, sort of cleared my overheads with the rent, started doing a bit more work on it that I wanted to do, like sort of few renovations and things like that. And then, yeah, all of a sudden she's going, that was a loan. I never said I was going to do business with you. I said I'd loan. I said I'd help you out. Now I need the money back. Obviously, I'm sitting there. I've not got. That's why I'm looking for an investor because I've not got that money there anymore. So I've sort of said like, look, I can't. I can't pay you back. It's then sort of lead to me having sort of quite some bad people after me. Sort of having quite a lot of fights and things like this, which weren't good.
You mean so like she basically said like you owe me 10 grand. And you're
Yeah,
like, well, like you put into the business, I don't have 10 grand, it's in the business already. And then she said she got people after you.
yeah. So I ended up um, like basically I had quite a few expensive items and things like this that I sort of got when I sort of had good money. So I was sort of planning to send some bits back to England to sell, and again to raise the money, like a bit of jewelry, some high end clothing, sending that back to England to basically sell it, get the money. I was like, right, yeah, I don't really want any sort of trouble out here, so yeah, I'll pay you back the money, and then the rest of the money I can use for my business. But I've sort of said to her, like, I need you to help me send it, like the post. Because at this time, my motorbike company had my passport, so I used my passport as a deposit for my motorbike, so I couldn't use the post service without any ID. So I've gone to her with this big box of stuff, sort of saying to her, like, look, we need to send this back to England. All of a sudden, two people have come running around the corner, sort of jumped me, stole all the stuff. Yeah, didn't beat me up badly, but yeah, they'd sort of done what they needed to do. Obviously, she denied that she had anything to do with it. Still going on like I owe her the money.
Oh.
So yeah, and at that point, I know that she had zero. The rent of my condo was 20,000 a month. I was again at this point now about a month, 2 months behind rent on the shop building. I'd been closed for about a month because I couldn't afford stock and the staff. So yeah, that was sort of the last turning point where I now had nothing, couldn't afford to even pay what I owed my motorbike. Because what I used to do with my motorbike, I just pay monthly where I lived there, and sort of they just let me go down once a month and just pay whatever I owed. Again, at this point, I owed about 20,000 baht for the motorbike, which I didn't have. So I've ended up taking the motorbike and said, "Oh look, I'll pay you when I can. I can't afford to pay you right now." So obviously they've kept my passport, um, and yeah, ended up like it still went further and further downhill from even from there, to be honest.
Right, so you're hemorrhaging money everywhere. You owe everybody money. You say
Yeah,
in Ireland you owe your bollocks. I mean,
yeah,
you're
yeah,
deep in debt.
yeah.
What happens then?
So basically, I managed to say to the people who owned the building, like the owners of the building, sort of like, look, I can't carry on with this. I need to sort of move my stuff out. I basically gone there next day. They put a big lock on my building, and there's a big sign from the police on there, basically saying that I can't enter, can't get any of my stuff out of the shop. Be trespassing if I enter to the shop. So they basically took control back of the shop. The owners basically said I'm not getting any deposit back, any of my key money back. But they sort of said like, there's no debt. You don't owe any money. You're like, we're clear, but you're not getting any deposit back or anything. So obviously I've defaulted my rental agreement. I was like, yeah, that's fine. At least that's one thing. I then sort of obviously sorted out with my lawyer, sort of put the business on hold so I didn't have to pay the SSID, which is like the social securities. I didn't have to pay all the little fees that I was paying every month to own the business there. So the business was sort of left dormant. I could sort of restart it if I wanted to, but at the time it was a non-open business basically.
Are you flat
Um,
broke at this stage? Like you've got
yeah,
no money.
yeah, I'm zero. Again, I'm struggling. I'm just about managing to get by money wise to sort of pay my rent for my condo and eat and things like this. At this point, I had some family back home help me 1 month to pay my rent and sort of help me out. Obviously, a lot of people were telling me to just go home, just go back to England, and it was more of a pride thing more than anything else, stopping me. I should have gone back months before this.
And what was your plan then? Like, were you thinking, okay, I'm going to try and get this up again, get up and running again, need some cash, or were you?
Yeah,
What was your
basically,
mindset at that time?
I'm just thinking I just need to sort of try and get some sort of work. I was thinking I need to get down into Bangkok, speak to my friends down there, sort of try and get saying. I've always had the mindset that something would always come through. Something's gonna happen. Even if I can just get a few £1,000s together, I can start something small. I just didn't want to give up the sort of dream of living there. So sort of even if I could just afford to pay my rent, afford to pay my food, and live in paradise, then I would sort of quite happily do that for a while until I could get some sort of work out there. I was looking at maybe doing my TEFL, things like this. So, but again,
What
obviously, I
year are we
needed.
talking here?
This was now last year, so 20. I went out there 2023. This is now 2024.
Okay.
Yeah, so it took me about a year to get to this point that we're at now. From going out there and starting the business and everything to now being absolute zero, sort of scraping by, just to be able to afford rent. Really, I ended up moving to a cheaper condo. So I moved from a 20,000 baht a month condo down to a 9,000 baht a month condo. That helped out a lot. Obviously, not having as much to pay out for, and then again, it got to the point where basically I had the woman from the motorbike now. Obviously, I was telling you I owed the 20,000 baht for the motorbike, and she had my passport. She now started saying if I don't pay 20,000 baht, she's gonna obviously go to the police, make a report to the police and everything, and I'd have to go down there and sort of sort out the situation of paying back this 20,000. I've sort of said to her, I was like, look, I generally haven't got it. I was like, I can't go anywhere. You've got my passport, so I can't leave the country. But right now, I've not got it. So I felt pressure of having to pay that. And the things at this point, I just started over. My visa had just run out, so I'm now starting to overstay on my visa. So yeah, this is again now. It's getting sort of into me now starting to commit.
What visa did you have?
At that point, obviously, when I first went there, I had a non-B business visa, along with a work permit. See, that lasted for a year, but then when that run out, I couldn't afford to renew the business visa, so I ended up doing a visa run over to Malaysia and re-entered back in just on a normal tourist visa at this point, just a 60-day tourist visa, which had now, yeah, that had now expired, and again, I've not got the money to be able to go and do another border run, and at this point, I don't even have my own passport, so yeah,
Or were you drinking and partying still, even though, I mean, you could
yeah.
probably party in Phuket for 1,000 baht really if you really budgeted.
Yeah, I mean, I stopped getting the VIP tables in the clubs and things like this, but I was still down on Bangla Road most days because, like I said, that's where everyone that I knew was down there. So yeah, sort of, I was down on Bangla Road a lot, partying in the bars this time. The only good thing was everyone knew I wasn't a tourist there, so it wasn't like having all the women coming up, sort of doing the tourist traps of, oh, buy me a drink, do this, do that. A lot of people, I was quite honest with the sort of position I was in. So yeah, most of the time I'd be sitting there. I'd have a few people I knew. They'd buy me a couple of drinks. I'd obviously buy a few drinks for myself, but yeah, I was still quite involved in the nightlife scene out there. At least sort of five days a week. I'd be on Bangor Road most nights.
Do you reckon you got lost in it? You got caught up in it and lost in the nightlife and the party?
Yeah, 100%. Especially from, like I said before, I went was COVID, and then sort of in England the party ages are sort of 18 to 22. So sort of once you get past that stage, I've got two children in England, things like that. So I'd not partied for a long time, not done the boys' holidays for a long time, things like that. And then when I went, like I said, when I saw Thailand and realised it's a lot more of an older group. Obviously, yeah, you do get still a lot of your 18 to 25-year-olds there, but it's a lot more of an older group. Like you go to the nightclubs there, and you've got 30, 40, 50, 60-year-old people sitting there surrounded by women, bottles of alcohol in VIP tables, sort of loving life. And I sort of really fell in love and sort of got back into that sort of lifestyle again. And for how cheap it was compared to back home, it was like I didn't realize how much money I was going through so quickly, until I sort of had nothing left.
So then what happens, right? You're enjoying this party lifestyle 5 days a week. You still owe
Yeah,
money to this lady. What happen? You're on overstaying your visa. What happens then?
yeah. Um, Basically after that, I've then uh, it's like to say things happen in threes. I say bad things happen in threes. So I've not got my passport at this point. Then my bank card stopped working. My English bank account. I only ever had a Thai account, but it was a business account. I never had a personal account. Get it was a big regret. I sort of have not setting that up, but I just never got around to doing it. I just always used my English account, pay the 200 baht at the ATM and get out what I needed to get. But yeah, my ATM card stopped working. I run out of
When you say
people.
stop working because it was maxed out or something like that, or why did it just
No,
stop?
generally the chip in the card generally stopped working. So when I'm putting it in the card, it's just not reading it and spitting the card straight back out. At this point, I'd run out of people to sort of ask and to sort of borrow money from, because I'm sort of having to borrow around 10 to 15,000 baht a month from family and things like that to sort of get by, sort of pay for my rent, pay for my food and everything like that. And I sort of run out of people to ask. So literally, yeah, after that, I ended up losing the condo. So again, I couldn't pay the rent. And to move out the condo, luckily I had a friend that went and let me stayed with them. She owned a bar in Katu. She let me sleep above the bar for free. I was quite good friends with her, so she helped me out. But I kept sort of just thinking, oh, I just need to get by this week. By next week, something will happen. I kept thinking, oh, it's not going to be like this. Saint's going to come through. Do you know what I mean? Either something from back home or some sort of work. So I kept thinking, like, oh, I just need help for a week. I just need help for a week. I wasn't telling people the full true story of actually how bad it was for me out there. I was sort of putting a silver lining on everything, not being fully honest with people. Sort of like the woman that let me stay, I was sort of saying, like, oh yeah, I'm going home, going back to England in a few weeks. So I just need somewhere to stay until then.
So you were basically kind of lying to the people around you just so,
Yeah,
they're not going to tell you the truth. I mean, no one's probably going to tell you, listen, mate, you need to go home.
yeah,
So
yeah.
you were keeping it going. You were lying to yourself and lying to other people.
Yeah, yeah. Basically, just trying to get by each week. Um, Try to get by. Like you said, I had no one sitting there. I've not got a big family. I've got my dad and a few cousins, things like that. So I've got no one ringing me up, just going, Mark, come on, stop doing this. Like, what you're doing is obviously not working. Come home. I'm still sitting there at that moment. I'm looking as I've got a roof over my head. I've got food in my stomach. I've got people that I thought were friends around me. I'm at a perfect beach every day. In hot. So yeah, I'm still good. Still everything's fine. I'm sort of lying to myself that everything was fine, not sort of realizing the sort of grave I'm digging for myself almost. Keep on overstaying, obviously things like that. I was quite lucky that I was sort of staying somewhere that they didn't ask for any ID, so the immigration obviously didn't know where I was. So I sort of felt I was a bit on the run now at this point. I'm sort of keeping my toes from immigration, making sure I'm not getting pulled over by any police or anything, because obviously out there you have to carry your ID or some sort of thing on you when the police stop you. So as soon as they would look into my visa situation, they would see I'd overstayed, and I knew that's when I'd then have some problems. I already thought that the police were looking for me due to this motorbike situation. So again, that made me sort of quite scared of getting pulled over by the police and having them look into me. And as well, I still had the Thai woman who was meant to invest in the business. I had her sort of saying that obviously she still wanted her money back, saying that she'd been to police, sort of saying that I had police after me, that I couldn't leave the country, things like this. So at this point, I was sort of thinking it's either I'm on the run, I sort of stay on my toes, not get into any trouble, and try and sort of figure out a way to get. Basically, I knew everything could be solved by money, so it was just trying to find a way of getting by each day and trying to sort of get some money to sort out these problems.
So did you get any money then?
No, no, that didn't end up happening. This is now we're talking now Christmas. Christmas just gone now. It's now got to the point of sort of I can't stay at the bar anymore with the lady. I've now literally all I've got to my name is just a rucksack. Literally, like I said, I didn't have no ATM card. I've got no passport, nothing. I'm now basically homeless. At one point, I was sleeping. Do you know Phuket at all? Do you know Phuket?
Yeah, I've been to Phuket a couple of times.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
bang.
you
I
know,
know.
obviously up in Phuket, Old Town.
Yeah, yeah, been there. Yeah, loads of
Yeah,
times.
I was sleeping there. Sleeping there basically on the streets.
No
Um,
way.
yeah, I was. There's a place called Queen's Park. Um, just
Is-
in the centre of Old Town. It's got like a big grey statue. It's got like a bench around the statue. That was my bed for a few weeks.
No way. So how did you end up being homeless when you had that place in Katu where you were staying in that bar?
Yeah, obviously, well, again, I'd sort of lied to them about sort of how long I needed to stay for. I couldn't keep coming up with excuses of why I hadn't gone home yet without telling the truth. And yeah, it's my own fault for not telling people the truth about what was going on with me and things like this. So I basically said to them that I'm going home, obviously knowing that I wasn't. And yeah, it got to the point, it got sort of quite, that was my lowest sort of point out there, was sort of thinking, where can I go? Now I've ended up going to Old Town because I knew a hostel that was there. You know, like we had the multiple beds in one room, cheap. It was like sort of, it was like 700 baht for a night or something. So I've ended up going there for a couple of
But that's
nights.
not that cheap if you've got nothing.
Yeah, of course, yeah, still with nothing. But yeah, I booked there for 2 nights. Gone there. I sort of knew the system quite well at this point, so I knew I couldn't stay anywhere for longer than 3 days. Otherwise, so what I'd done, I had a copy of my passport. I would show the hotel. I'd say like, oh, I haven't got my original. Here's a copy. And what it is, they take 3 days to get to the immigration to do the immigration report to basically let immigration know who's staying there at that time. And that's normally how long it will take for them immigration to find out I've overstayed and come and get me. So I knew I couldn't stay anywhere for longer than 3 days. So yeah, I was sort of moving hostels around Old Town, and then again it got to the point now where I've got zero money. I've sold my phone just to be able to get a little bit of money again to try and get a room, try and get some food. But now I've lost my contact with family and things like this. I'm just keep going down and down, and but it's everything is my decision. Sort of why I should have just picked up the phone and gone book me a flight. I need to come home, or gone and handed myself into immigration or something. But I
Was
just
there I mean during this time was there drugs or alcohol going on? Is that
yeah, it was mainly drinking. At this point, I quit. I used to smoke cannabis quite a lot. Again, that's why I started a cannabis business. But yeah, I stopped smoking cannabis basically when I couldn't afford it. But I was drinking quite a lot. I said a beer bottle of Chang is what, 50, 60 baht. So it'd be a case of some nights I'd get a couple of 100 baht. I'd be thinking, oh, I might be able to go and get a bed for the night, and I was sort of choosing to go and get a few Changs and walk the streets or sort of sleep wherever I could for the night instead of sort of using that money to go and get myself a room or try and save up enough money to pay to get home.
and you were sleeping in this park then?
Yeah, yeah, I was sleeping in the park in Old Town, and then sort of this is when, like I said, this is what I said to you about the sort of generosity of the local Thai people. This is now when I sort of started seeing a different side to people. So I'm been in this park now probably about 5 6 days. So I'd walk up and down the park. Like I'd go for a walk and things like that, just sort of to walk around, waste of time. Like I said, I didn't have a phone to be able to sit there and even play a game on my phone or anything. So I'm just doing things to sort of get waste time and sort of try and. I had no plan at this point. I had all my plans had gone out the window. I'm now literally in just survival mode. I'm just trying to survive. I sort of knew I needed to go to immigration, hand myself in about the overstay. But at this point, I didn't even have enough money for a taxi to be able to get um, to where the immigration office is and hand myself in Phuket. So I'm literally just, yeah, full on survival mode. I had this. Thai man pull up on a motorbike, sort of local grab driver. So it was about 1, 2 a.m. in the morning. I was sort of walking back up through the park. He's sort of gone, hey, like, you okay, you okay? And I was sort of one of the people I'd never like asking for help. I'd rather bite my lip and bite my pride than sort of admit to someone like, yes, I need help, something's wrong. And it was, he sort of said like, no, I've seen you for the last 2, 3 nights. Like, I know you're not good. I know you're not good. And I'm like, sort of finally sort of opened up to him and sort of sat down with him for a minute. He was like, oh, do you need cigarettes? I was like, yeah, I smoke. Sort of pulled out 20 cigarettes out of his bag, gave him to me. So I'm sitting there having a cigarette with him, sort of told him my story. And then he was like, oh, have you eaten today? I was like, no, I've not eaten yet. At this point, I hadn't eaten anything all day. He then took me food, took me to 7-Eleven, gave me a little bit of money to sort of get some more food the following day. Brought me a blanket and things like this. Obviously, where I was sleeping on the bench in the park. And yeah, basically, he said like he's saying sorry to that he can't help more. And I'm like, you've done more for me than sort of anyone's done. Most people were tourists. They see me sitting there. I mean, I didn't look homeless. I sort of still had where all my clothes were sort of designer clothes and things like this. I'm sort of sleeping in quite expensive clothing. My trainers were still all right. I didn't look like your average homeless person. So I presume most tourists and things like this that would be walking past me, they're only going to walk down this road once. It's not like somewhere that you're going to walk constantly. So they probably sort of walk past me and just think I'm a standard tourist, just sort of sitting on the bench having a cigarette. No one sort of ever stopped to think like, oh, does this man need help? And I never sort of put my arm out to sort of say like, look, I need help. Can someone help me? And then yeah, like I said, until this Thai man come and sort of brought me the food. He then started coming to me sort of every day before we start work. He'd come bring me like 200 baht, like a little bit of food, some water. He'd then come again after he'd finished work before he'd go home. Again, bring me a meal with food.
And
Make
did
sure I
you
was okay.
confide in him and say, look, I'm an overstay. This is my story. This is my
Yeah,
situation.
yeah. I was honest with him about everything. That's when he sort of did start to help me. At this time, he didn't have. Because obviously the Grab drivers, some they don't earn a lot of money, so he had a very basically. I was trying to get in contact with my family back in England. The only way I knew my dad's number off by heart, but it's only his WhatsApp number. And this bloke, the phone he had didn't have WhatsApp on it. He only had Line or like their sort of version of it. So yeah, I'm sort of trying to figure out a way to sort of get a hold of family back at home. But yeah, I was fully honest with him about everything. And like I said, but basically every day he'd come to me and just sort of bring me. Say if he earned 1,000 baht, he'd come bring me 200 baht for food and things like this. Would take me on a little drive with him, sort of making sure that I was okay. And yeah, he sort of said that would be his karma, his good karma for the day, so that he'd hopefully get more customers with work or things like this. So obviously Buddhist country, they believe a lot in the sort of karma, do good, you get good back, things like that. So yeah, he sort of helped me out a lot. And then got to the point, a couple of days went by and I didn't see him. So I presume he wasn't working or something had gone wrong with the motorbike. I didn't have any contact with him. I had no number for him. His name was Chicken. That was his nickname. So
Guy.
yeah, yeah, guy. So
Yeah,
yeah,
guy,
he
yeah.
called himself Chicken. So that was all I knew of him. I couldn't really go around asking people, "Oh, do you know a Thai man called Chicken? I'm trying to find him." So yeah, it sort of a couple of nights went past. I'm sort of sitting still where I was. He hadn't been. And then all of a sudden, another man's pulled out again, taxi driver, Grab driver. He's gone, oh, Mac. Obviously, they don't pronounce the R's out there. It's like, they don't say Mark, it's Mac. So he's like shouted over to me. I've never seen this man before. He's like, Mark. I'm now sort of a bit scared. I'm thinking this might be one of the blokes that someone sent or something. I'm thinking, oh, do I run? And he's like, no, come here. Chicken friend. So I'm like, okay. Like, I've gone over to him. And he's like, oh, like, he tell me you need help. I'm like, yes, yes. He's like, okay. Like, gave me. He's then started giving me some money, and he's gone, oh, like you want beer? Like, we'll go for beer. I was like, okay, yeah. Me and him have gone for a beer now. We're in Old Town. Again, I'm telling him my full story. At this point, I stopped lying to people about what situation I was in. I was being sort of fully honest with people about what had happened and everything. He's then sort of said like, oh, obviously he can help me with a little bit of money and food. He sort of make sure I eat every day. And he was like, if you're okay sleeping in like room, he's like, I have somewhere you can sleep. And I'm sitting there at this point, I nearly broke down in tears, sort of just happy to have a roof over my head. He's then took me up to this about 5-10 minute drive from the centre of Phuket, Old Town. He's then took me into like his little room. Basically, him and his son would would sleep in this room every day. Obviously, his son didn't go to school, so his son would sort of stay there when he'd go out and drive on his motorbike. And he sort of said there was like a small space on the floor. He put like a blanket down for me and sort of said, "You can stay here." And we try to get you help. We try to get help.
How old was
Uh,
his son?
Son was about 7, about 6, 7 years old. Yeah, quite young. Again, he was just sleeping on the floor. They didn't really have a lot, but he's sitting there choosing to help to help me. And again, he's sort of seeing it as it's going to be good karma for him and his son helping me. His son quite likes having, is what they call Falang. Oh, Falang man. So he was, and yeah, so he sort of saw it as a bit of a. He didn't obviously know what's going on. He's 6, 7 years old, but yeah, there's now three of us sleeping in. Yeah, small little box room. There's no bed in there. There's no TV. There's no air conditioning. It's just fans. But at least it's now it's a roof. It's a roof over my head, and yeah, he's taking me for food every morning before he goes to work with his son. He'd then take his son to his friend's place. His friend would look after him during the day, and I'd then sort of do what I'd done during the day. I'd sort of meet him by at that park every night. He'd then pick me up, and he'd then let me stay at his place again. And yeah, this went on for about a week. He managed to get hold of a phone from one of his friends that I could contact my dad.
Your family must have been worried. Disappeared
Yeah,
for what, 2 weeks?
yeah. Well, at this point, it'd been around a month with no contact. And the last contact I had with my dad was saying, I've got people after me and I've got no money left. I'm now homeless. And yeah, now he's not heard from me. My kids haven't heard from me.
They probably thought you were dead.
Yeah, a lot of people did. A lot of my friends thought I was dead when I got back and I had messages on my Facebook and things like this. Yeah, a lot of people thought I died. Yeah.
So then what
So
happens? You're in this room for a week or whatever. What happens then?
yeah, yeah. So then after that, I managed to get hold of my dad. Sort of, I'd found out that basically if I could take myself to court, take myself to immigration, hand myself in to immigration, go to court, I could pay a fine of 5,000 baht at court for the overstay. I then knew that I'd be transferred to an IDC to an immigration centre. But then basically I'd be deported home and I could go home. All I've got to pay is 5,000 baht and I can go home. So I'm thinking, yeah, okay, this is what I need to do. So I've obviously said to my dad, can you get, I need 5,000 baht to be able to get home. Can you get this to me somehow? Like, through Western Union, obviously send it to the Thai man. He'll then take it out for me, give it to me. And yeah, basically get this money so I can just hand myself in. I said to her, I might have to do a couple of days in an immigration centre and I'll be able to come home. Obviously, straight away, my dad's gone, yeah, I'll get paid on this day, which is about another 5 days away at this point. We're now sort of into, yeah, January this year. So, yeah, he said, yeah, in about 4 or 5 days, I can send you the money. So I've gone, yeah, perfect. Said to the Thai man, like, look, this is what I'm going to do. 5 days. Can you take me to immigration? Take me there. I'm going to hand myself in. I'm going to go home. See, everyone's happy. My dad's happy that he's heard from me. I managed to FaceTime my children, speak to my children, spoke to a few friends, sort of let people know that I'm fine. but it's going to take me a week or so. But I'm going to be home and everything's okay. So yeah, I got the money from my dad. This is again, it's sort of I don't know how to take this part. I still don't really understand this part, to be honest. But I've ended up then going to the immigration centre where the IDC is in Phuket, near Phuket Old Town. Well, opposite the big court where the main court is. I've then gone there. I've gone inside. There was a lovely Australian woman in there working. So they're all volunteers, most of the workers in there. I've sort of said to her, like, look, I've overstayed. I've not got a passport. At this point, I'm not being honest still about what's happened to my passport. I'm telling them that I've lost it. So I'm not telling people that, oh, this person's got my passport. Otherwise, again, I wouldn't be able to get help. So I'm saying, oh, I've lost my passport. I've overstayed my visa. I'm homeless, things like this. I've been living on the streets. I need to go home. So they've gone, yeah. Basically, they've gone, oh, at the moment, the holding centre, the holding prison is full. Can you come back tomorrow? Come here at 9 a.m. tomorrow. We'll do everything. You go to court the next day. You pay your overstay fine in court, and then you'll be transferred to Bangkok, basically, and then you'll be deported back home. This is what the Australian woman said, and I spoke to the British Embassy on the phone as well, and that's what they said to me. So I then spent one more night just sort of walking around the streets. I had a really nice Australian man in the immigration as well. So obviously he heard my story, overheard my story, and was like, "Oh, here's 2,000 baht. Get yourself through the night until you come back tomorrow." He's like, "I hope this helps." So obviously I'm seeing that as one final night of a little party before I go to IDCs. I'm like, "Yeah, I've got 2,000 baht in my pocket. I'm gonna go out party all night." So yeah, we ended up going into Old Town. A couple of bars I know there. There's the Anfield bar. Was quite a regular in, so yeah, I've ended up going in there watching the football. Yeah, having a few drinks, getting some nice food. Sort of just had quite a not a nice last night, but sort of like a bit more of a just ended it on a what I would thought would be a better note to end it on than my last night being homeless. So I got managed to get a hotel for the night. Yeah, then like I said, gone out, got drunk, had a good night. Gone to the immigration again the next day. They've had all my passport details and everything. Sort of took me down into where the holding cell is that I'd have to stay for a night before I went to court. And again, I'm sort of explaining my situation, and they're sort of saying that, oh, yeah, it's 20,000 baht you've got to pay, not 5,000. They're like, it's 500 baht per day, and then for a maximum of 20,000 baht. I'm like, well, I've not got 20,000 baht. I got told it was 5,000. I've only got 5,000 baht to pay my court fine. They're like, no, it's 20,000 baht for an overstay. And again, I'm sort of sitting there, and now I'm panicking again. I'm sort of outside. Say directly behind me was the cells. Everyone's sitting in the cells. I'm sort of on a bench outside it, sort of speaking to the immigration police officers, basically telling them like, look, I've not got it. I've not got 20,000 baht. I've got 5,000 baht. That's all I've got. I can go to court tomorrow and pay 5,000. And he sort of said, have you got any family, anything like anyone you can ask? So I've borrowed their phone. I've called my dad again. I've sort of gone, Dad, look, I was wrong. It's not 5,000 baht. I've got to pay. It's this amount. Can you help me? Obviously, my dad's 60 something years old. He's retired. He's on a pension. He can't send me hundreds of pounds every month and still be able to live himself. So he's sort of said like, no, I can't until I get paid again. So I basically explained to them, look, I can get the money, but it's going to be in about a week, 2 weeks time. And they've basically told me to go and come back once I've got the money, because they basically said otherwise I'd go to actual real prison, and to survive in a prison with no money, I'm not going to survive.
So they knew you were on overstay. They let you go.
Yeah,
So come back when you have the money.
yeah, yeah. Because basically they said if you've not got any money as a foreigner in a Thai prison in Phuket, you're going to be left there, you're going to be forgotten about, and you're not going to survive. They basically said you're better off leaving, waiting a week or two, get the money, and yeah, basically come back once you can pay it. Or they said the other thing you can do is take yourself to Bangkok, because obviously the main immigration everything's in Bangkok. There was like take yourself to Bangkok. I was like, look, I've not got a passport, I can't fly. They've then given me a copy of my passport, and I had a police report saying that I'd lost it. At this point, I knew that there was no police looking for me or anything for the motorbike incident or anything, because I'd gone to the police and said I've lost my passport. They've typed in all my details. Nothing's come up about me. They've given me a letter saying that I've lost my passport on the beach. One night I was drunk, I fell asleep on the beach, and I woke up and I've got no passport. So again, that was a relief. Sort of now thinking, right, I haven't got the police aren't after me. That was sort of them lying to scare me for months, sort of saying that there was police after me when actually there wasn't. So at this point, I've got my letter saying I've got no passport and the reasons for it. I've got 5,000 baht in my pocket. Sort of thinking, right, I can either go to Bangkok. I've got friends in Bangkok that I'll be able to stay with as well, friends from England, or I can be homeless again for a week in Phuket. Wait till I get this extra money, go back to immigration here, deal with it here, and go through that process. I sort of thought, no, I'm gonna head down to Bangkok. So I've gone to the main bus station, bus terminal in Phuket, again in Phuket Old Town. Booked myself a ticket. It was 750 baht for an overnight bus to Bangkok. It takes about 12 hours. It's like a little sleeper bus. Sort of thinking, well, I'm gonna go to Bangkok, sort this out, wait for the money. I'll then go to immigration in Bangkok because they said it'll be a quicker process than doing it in Phuket. And as well, the British embassies in Bangkok, they haven't got an embassy in Phuket, so the whole process would be a lot quicker. Me being in Bangkok, I haven't gone to Bangkok. I'm gone to my friend. My friend owned a coffee shop and a cannabis farm in Bangkok. Again, still at this point, I've not got a phone, so I've not contacted the friends to say, "Oh, I'm coming," or to sort of let them know. I'm just thinking, well, I'm going to turn up, tell them sort of what's happened, and then they're good friends of mine. I've been friends with them 20 plus years. They're not going to see me on the street, sort of thing. I've gone to where I knew their shop was, and it's closed. The shop's closed down. What am I going to do? I've got no way of contacting them. I'm now in Bangkok. I don't know a single person in Bangkok.
Where was
Yeah,
the shop? Was it in Sukhumvit?
no, this was down on Rama 4. It was a bit more out the way of central Bangkok. 'Cause it was like a ground floor shop, and then they had like sort of big facility where they had the cannabis farm, and then they all lived inside it as well. It was like three of my mates, all from Kent in England, were all living there doing the business. They were one of the reasons why I decided to move to Thailand in the first place, because they were already here doing the business, and I decided to obviously come out and start my own thing in Phuket. I had the cannabis shop, they had a farm, they would supply my shop. It would sort of be a bit win-win, all of us working together. Obviously, like I said, I thought that they would still be there. They're not. I don't know where they are. There's no sort of information for them outside the shop. It's just closed. Looks like it's been closed for quite a while. Obviously, I've not spoke to them in a few months' time, so I don't know what their situation's been. Whether they've lost the business, or like the laws keep changing out there with the cannabis stuff. So I didn't know whether that's affected them. I didn't know what was going on. I'm now stuck in Bangkok again. I've not got anyone here. I've not got a phone, anything. Obviously, at this point, I've still got about 4,000 baht in my pocket. So I've ended up going down to a new hostel that was down near Khao San Road. A little cheap hostel there. It was like 175 baht a night for a bed in like 12 room, 12 people to one room hostel. So I ended up going down there, booking that for 5 nights. Sort of the first night sort of spent outside, sort of meeting the other people that were staying there, sort of trying to form enough of a friendship that I could sort of start asking, sorry, could I use your borrow your phone? I need to contact people. I've got some issues here that I need to sort out. Luckily, I befriended someone. Let me use their phone. Phoned up, tried to get hold of my friend. Couldn't get hold of him. So I've messaged my dad and said to my dad, "Oh, can you message my friend? Ask for his number. And basically, I'll keep ringing you and see whether you've got hold of him." Because now I'm about 2 days away now from obviously not having this room anymore. I'd been down to Khao San a couple nights, had a few of the cheap beers, like you get buy 40, get one free of the big singers. So again, now that 4,000 baht is now completely gone. I'm now sort of back to square one again, just waiting for my dad to get paid and get that sort of 20 20,000 baht to pay my fine at the airport and be able to go home. Or pay my fine at immigration, sorry, and be able to go
You
home.
you have to go all the way back to Phuket again.
No, yeah, I can do this in Bangkok.
Okay.
So because I said the British embassy was in Bangkok, and then they've got the immigration in Bangkok as well. So obviously, I had the letter from immigration in Phuket, basically saying that I'd gone there to self surrender. Because otherwise, if you don't self surrender, you get banned for, I think it's 5 years. Whereas if you self surrender yourself, it's only a 1 year ban.
1 year, yeah.
Because I'd overstayed. Now at this point, I'd overstayed around 100, yeah, about 120 days at this point. So yeah, I'm just sort of thinking, right, I've got to get through a few more days. I'll get this money. Everything's all right. A couple of days have come past. I've ended up getting, just over 20,000 baht. So I'm thinking, yeah, I'm all right. Again, just the way my head is and being stuck in the thing, I'm now thinking actually I could either go home with 20,000 baht, or this is another month of me trying to make something and trying to, I don't know, trying to save that last little
So you
hold
had the
of.
20,000. You thought, like, I'm going to try and see if I can make this work.
Yeah. I'm thinking I can maybe turn this 20,000 into something. Obviously, I know I had a few contacts in the cannabis industry. I was thinking, oh, I can go and buy something with this 20,000. I can shift it around, do some things, like sort of be a bit of wheeling dealer for a couple of months, and maybe try and make something again. And you know what I mean? If I still need to go home, I can go home. My situation doesn't change with having to pay the 20,000. It's only if they catch me. So again, I'm sort of on the run a little bit again now. But yeah, I'm thinking, yeah, I'm gonna stay. Stupidly, that was the point. Again, I've made absolute stupid mistake. I'm thinking, right, yeah, 20,000 baht is it's a lot of money, but it's not a lot of money at the same time when you're used to a certain lifestyle. Again, I've gone and booked a hotel for 3 nights. Got somewhere again. I'm thinking, oh, I can now. I've got 20,000 now. I've not got 5,000, so I can afford to get my own room now. I don't need to stay in a hostel. Like shoot little things like this, and then thinking, oh, yeah, I can go for a nice bit of nice food tonight. So I went out for some nice food. I've then ended up doing the thing. I'm now going down to Khao San every night. Khao San is now my new Bangla Road. I'm now down on Khao San every night. Uh, Become quite friends with these Burmese workers down in one of the bars down there. So I'll be going there every day drinking. I'll do 10 to 15 big bottles of Singer a day.
I mean, that 20,000 is not going to last you long if you're
No,
going down that way. It's probably how long did it last? A week?
about a week. Yeah, literally about a week. Yeah, I'm now back. I've now got. I'm literally back to exactly how I was a week before. I'm now sitting there. This is probably the darkest point for me out there. I did at this point try. Um, I got drunk one night and basically ended up trying to commit suicide.
Jesus Christ.
Um, yeah, it's not saying no one knows about that. Obviously, they will now. Family and that don't know about that. But yeah, you know the Korean drink, the soju.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got one of them. Um, I'm sitting outside the 7-Eleven. I was in up in Ratchada in Bangkok.
Ratchet, I lived there for 8 years.
Okay, yeah, I was down on Ratchada near there was a little hostel down there I used to stay. Um, so yeah, I was down there outside one of the 7-Elevens. It's near where the big like shopping mall was and the
Rama 9.
Lotus. Yeah, and you had the Lotus opposite.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was down by there outside one of the 7-Elevens. I had a couple of bottles of soju, and I was sitting there. I've drunk both in back. I mean, sojus are quite strong. They knock you out for a bit, or they can end up. Yeah, and then I ended up smashing the bottle on the floor. I just took the glass and just opened up my wrist. I didn't do it the way when some people think of that. You know, the way that you do it, where it's sort of attention seeking. Never
Yeah.
actually going to do it. I've done it straight down and hit my main vein in my wrist.
You hit your artery.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm now bleeding out. I've got a massive scar on. Can't really see it anymore, but it starts
Yeah,
here.
see a bit, yeah.
Yeah. So
Fuck.
yeah, I've done that straight away. As soon as I've seen the amount of blood coming out, I'm now thinking. Um,
What, just squirting out your arm, was it?
yeah, well, I didn't put a punch to the artery. I'd nicked it and gone right through it, but it was a lot of blood. At this point, I've still got my rucksack with like some t-shirts and that in it. I've pulled it out. I've wrapped a t-shirt around my hand, around my arm, thinking again, I've got no medical insurance. I can't exactly go to hospital. I've got no money. I'm literally thinking at this point, I'm now thinking obviously no, I don't want to. I don't want to commit suicide. That was stupid, but it's just at the point I had nothing. I'm sitting in Rachada outside the 7-Eleven with absolutely nothing. I'm about to sleep outside this 7-Eleven tonight. That was sort of what I was thinking. I just couldn't take it anymore. And then, yeah, I'm basically laying on the ground. I had a big t-shirt wrapped around me, around my arm. All of a sudden, this tuk-tuk driver pulled up next to me, basically come over to me, sort of picked me up, sort of going like, you okay, you okay? I'm like, no, like showed him my wrist. He's then put me straight in the back of his tuk-tuk, drove me to his house. Which again, his house was on one of the soys on Rachada, one of the soys in Rachada. It was about 2 minutes away from where I was. He's ended up driving to my house, gone in, straight away, him and his wife are cleaning it, bandaging it, sort of doing it up. It was big, like it's about that long. It's about 4 or 5 inches, so from there to there. But it's like that top bit there, that's the bit that's quite thick. The rest of it wasn't bleeding too bad. So they've sort of bandaged it up. Sort of he's asking like, "What are you doing?" Like he speaks some English. His name was Tuck. Um, speaks some English. Again, I've told him my story, things like this. Sort of saying like, "Look, just had enough. I just don't want to. Just want this sort of nightmare now to end. I keep making stupid decisions. I need to go home, but can't go home. But basically, and he was like, "Oh." Asked me what's my name. I was like, "Oh, Mark." He was like, "Oh, my brother named Mark. My brother named Mark." I was like, oh, "Okay." He was like, "You can stay with him. Him have condo. Um, getting near Rachada. It wasn't too far from Rachada." He was like, "Him tuk tuk man as well. Him work tuk tuk." I was like, "Okay, yeah." Like I was like, if he's okay, like, yeah, thank you. Again, he took me for some food, got me some cigarettes, things like that. And he's like, "Yeah, you go stay with Mark." And it was Mark and his brother, called Papal. So it's Mark and Papal lived in this condo together, and they sort of took me in, basically gone like, "Your family now, like your family." Hold on, let me get my other phone. There was like, "Yeah, like your
Let me just
family."
say, how amazing are these Thai guys that they're
Yeah,
stepping in,
that's what I mean. This is what
helping
I've
a
said to you
homeless
in
guy.
when we spoke before. That literally, I would have died if it wasn't for the Thai people.
Yeah,
But yeah, there's a photo of me there with all my Thai family. That's all the Tuk Tuk guys.
that's the gang.
Yeah. So there's sort of me there. There's Mal. Yeah.
Do you know which
See,
part of Ratchet that is? That looks familiar. It kind of looks like Hui Kwang, that area. It's
yeah,
like,
that was near one of the bus stations. That was a little bit further out. That picture was taken a couple of weeks after the sort of part we're at now.
okay.
Um, but yeah, they worked the tuk tuks down on Nana. You know, when you come to the end of Nana Plaza and you've got the petrol station with the 7-Eleven.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and you've got all the tuk-tuks that park inside the petrol station.
Okay. So
They all,
that's where they operate then.
yeah, that's their sort of patch there, and also down on Sukhumvit 11, opposite the Sugar nightclub. They're all the tuk-tuks
So
down there.
they're busy then. These guys are
Yeah,
they're dealing with tourists all the time.
yeah. So and I'm now staying with two of them, staying in their place, and they basically like, said, "You can come and work with us. Come to work with the tuk-tuks. Sort of basically, we'll pay you every day." It was like, "We'll pay you. You'll get
To drive a
the."
tuk-tuk or what?
No, basically, I was translating because I spoke a little bit of Thai, enough to be able to sort of have a conversation, and to basically get tourists to take the tuk-tuks. And then every time, to say they'd charge 500 baht, I'd get 100 baht of it. If they charge 1,000, I'd get 200. So I was almost getting commission off the tuk-tuk guys for bringing customers to them to get tuk-tuks home or to go to the after parties.
And was that
Um,
working? Were you getting money off that?
yeah, yeah, I was earning about 500 baht a day. Um, like I said, I had somewhere to stay every night. I was staying with these guys. We become like family. They were like my best friends. We're there. We're drinking Sangsong every night, the Thai whiskey. Um,
So you're hanging around with this big crew of Thai guys,
yeah,
and
and
and the
I now feel I'm protected now. Like,
yeah, well, those type of guys, they are. I mean, I'm not going to
yeah,
say they're mafia, but they're they're kind of
yeah,
tough guys. You wouldn't want to mess with them.
no, yeah. At least I'm there. Like I said, I'm on the top of Nana, like probably the busiest road in Bangkok for apart from Khao San. Literally right by Nana Plaza. I'm sitting there, I'm eating food every day. I'm literally standing on the edge of my tuk-tuk like this. My friend's tuk-tuk going, "Hello, tuk-tuk, hello, tuk-tuk, come." Like this, like, "Oh, where do you want to go?" Like, and then sort of telling the tuk-tuk drivers, "Oh, yeah, you come here, come here." Like, he wants tuk-tuk. Like this, we're all sitting there eating food, getting drunk every night. Like, sort of, there was all like the women around there. Obviously, all the tuk-tuk drivers knew the women, so then I started to know them. Like,
So they
it
were
was
hooking
quite.
you up with some sexy ladies.
Yeah, yeah. So at that point, it was quite fun. Um, Obviously, again, it was illegal what I was doing because I didn't have a work permit
Uh,
or anything. So it'd be a case of sometimes when the police did come um, round the corner, yeah, I'd have to sort of act like I was a tourist trying to get a tuk-tuk, not that I was standing there with them. And yeah, I was doing that for about 3 4 weeks um, with them. We then ended up one night. We had a good night. We ended up earning quite a decent amount of money. And my friend's gone, "Oh, I want you to come and meet my family. I want you to come and meet my mum." I'm like, "Okay." And we've got in the tuk tuk. I'm thinking like, "Oh, this might be they live in Bangkok." We've ended up driving in a tuk tuk all the way to Isan.
no way, that's ours.
Yeah, so a place called Royette in
You went in a
Isan.
tuk-tuk all the way to Royette.
Yeah, yeah, all the way to Royette. So
Man, that's about what's that, 8 9 hours?
yeah, it's
What?
about 9 hours. Yeah,
Jesus.
so it was just me and the brother in the back. Got my friend driving, and yeah, we ended up going to Royette. And again, he's gone like this. This is your home. He's got a house that he built there for like his mum and everything. He's gone. This your home for 1 week. I'm like, okay, yeah, yeah. Thank you, sort of thing. Got his mum sitting there, like we're going out every night catching live chickens, strangling them, skinning them every night, like living like real sort of Thai people. Going out, working in the rice fields every day, like sort of going chopping down things. And yeah, sort of stayed up there for a week. Went good few local parties up there. Obviously, I was literally the only foreigner that I saw in that entire place while I was in Royette. So
It is
everywhere
a
they
good
sort of
feeling though, isn't it, when you're the only foreigner around
yeah
the place? It is a good feeling.
yeah, and especially where I was surrounded everywhere I went, I had 5 6 Thai people with me. Um, so
So
it was
you're
almost
connected. So you're walking in with a group of guys that they already knew who you are, or whatever.
yeah
He's with us.
yeah yeah exactly. So and I'm meeting all these people. Like some people, I'd walk into a bar and I'm sitting down with these blokes with big, massive gold chains, gold everywhere, like looking at some serious people, and they're sitting there buying me drinks every night, and yeah, I'm sort of part of that little community, and people are sort of looking at me, wondering, well, what's special about this man? Sort of, there's got to be. Little did they know I'm just a homeless English guy that got lucky off the street, sort of thing. But yeah, they treated me like absolute family, and I owe, like I said, I owe my life to these people.
So what? You're chilling in Nissan. You're going out with these guys.
Yeah.
You're living this life. What happens then?
Well, then obviously we've had to come back to Bangkok to go back to work. I'm sort of, yeah, I'm getting to know at this point now that I can't carry this on forever. It's been good, sort of thing, but I can't. I've still got to go home. I'm now sort of starting to realise in my head, like, I can't. I'm now probably 100, 150, 160 days overstay now. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's all well and good getting a bit of cash, having a roof over my head, and all this. But I started to think, like, started to have a bit more of a wake up call to sort of sit there and think, like, I do still need to go home.
What month are we talking here of this
This
year?
is now, this is sort of end of January, beginning of February.
Okay.
And then what it was, because like I said, I had my group of Tuk Tuk guys that worked on Nana. That was Mark, Tuck, and Papal. They're three brothers. Like I said, it was Tuck who saw me when I tried to commit suicide and basically saved my life. There was then this other group on Sukhumvit that I was really close with. A guy called Mao, a guy called Film, a few other guys there. They were the ones that were in the photo I showed you. So then because basically whoever picked me up some nights would be who I'd basically go and work for. So it would be Mark on the Nana side, or Mal would come and pick me up, and I'd go chill with them on Sukhumvit. And I remember one night I've ended up going to work with the guys down on Sukhumvit. Um, and the guys on Nana then started to get annoyed about this. Basically saying, "Oh, you're going to work with them, whereas you live with us." Like, 'cause it's quite territorial, that sort of all the tuk tuk guys and all the taxi men. They're quite very territorial. Like, no, you don't work on this road. We work here. Like, but I thought they were all friends. So I didn't realize I was sort of annoying people when I was going to work on Sukhumvit with the other guys. That the guys on Nana were getting pissed off, sort of thing. So yeah, I'm working now Sukhumvit a couple nights. Not
Which
sort of
part of
realised
Sukhumvit? Soy 4 around there?
Sukhumvit 11,
Oh,
where
11,
Sugar
yeah.
is. Yeah, yeah. So where the Sugar nightclub is, I was directly right outside there. So yeah, really busy. And then you've got the Jamaican restaurant down by the Loft Hotel, the E Loft Hotel.
Okay.
Um, yeah, we was parked down there. But yeah, I'm not thinking I'm not doing anything wrong. I've then come back one night to where I was staying with Mark and Papal, and basically they sort of said, like, look, you're not staying here anymore. Like, you're going to work with these other guys. Like, you're meant to come to work with me. Like, I'm giving you a place to stay. I'll give you food. You're meant to help me make money. You're not doing this. You're making money with them. Like, do you know what I mean? And I didn't realize that I was doing something wrong. I thought everyone was friends and it was okay, because I met them all through the same people down on Nana. So I'm thinking they're all one group together. They all make money together. Because you see them all give each other money every night. So I'm all thinking, like, oh, they all earn money together, and that's sort of how it is. Not sort of finding out that, yeah, I was actually annoying the people in Nana who I was staying with, going to work with the guys on Sukhumvit. So yeah, they basically said I can't stay there anymore. I've ended up walking down to a bar, knows lady that I know down there. Sort of said to her, oh, can I use your phone? I need to get hold of the boys down on Sukhumvit. Sort of phoned them, explained that I've had an argument with the boys on Nana. Sort of, where are you? They've come and picked me up, and basically they would pay for me for. I couldn't stay with any of them at their places because they all had like family, children, and wives and things like this. But they'd all put in £100 each, 100 baht. I mean, each every night, and pay for me to stay in a hotel. So it was like 5, 6 guys. I was now with them every night on Sukhumvit. They basically got me into a hotel for this is now about a week, 2 weeks, and yeah, I basically said to them, like, look, I'm gonna try and go home. Like, I can't keep doing this. I've got a few thousand baht in my pocket. I know it's not enough to pay the fine, but at this point, I'm thinking if I have to go to prison, if I have to go to immigration detention centre, if that's what I have to do to get home, that's what I have to do. It's sort of like big realization now. I can't just keep doing this. Sort of, yeah, I'm getting by, I'm surviving, I'm having fun, but I'm drinking every day. But I'm just, yeah, I'm overstaying more and more every day, which is more closer to me getting caught every day. And I've just sort of got to the point where I was like, no, I need to go and just hand myself in back to immigration again, and yeah, deal with what I've got to do. I've got a few thousand baht in my pocket I can take to prison with me. At least I've got a little bit of money to get by in prison. Thinking I might do a few days in prison and then get sent to immigration or something.
So is that what you do then? You hand yourself in?
Yeah, well, I went down to the immigration place in Saton, place I was telling you about before, and again this was about about February time. I've ended up going there. I'm outside basically where you said you've been outside the immigration place. You got the bus stop outside opposite the 7-Eleven. I'm sitting at that
Yeah, yeah,
bus
go on
stop,
there.
sitting at a bus stop having a drink. Oh, at this point, one of the Thai men from the Sukhumvit 11, they'd given me one of their old phones. So I now had a phone to be able to contact my dad and contact friends and things like this. Sorry, that was something I forgot to say. Um, so yeah, I've got like an old Oppo, like the Thai phones, but I can use WhatsApp and things like this. And all of a sudden, I've got a phone call from my English friends, the ones that I said that I thought were up on Rama 4. They've gone, no, we've moved shop. We're now down on they was on in Saton. The new shop was in Saton. He was like, basically, I'm sitting there explaining to him everything that's happened for the last. So I've not spoke to these guys now for 6 months. They all think I'm still in Phuket, and these were the ones that thought I'd actually died. Yeah, I'm sort of speaking to them. They was like, oh, just come see us for the day. Sort of come stay here. Like I'll pay for you to have a hotel for the night, and then sort out immigration tomorrow. Like we want to see you before you like obviously have to do all this. Make sure you're all right. So I'm like, yeah, yeah, fine. So I've gone from sitting right outside the immigration, finally sort of took the bottle. So I didn't know what was going to happen when I walked into that immigration office. So it was quite a scary sort of thing. I kept putting it off. But yeah, I'm sort of finally outside there. And again, it's sort of, I've got this phone call all of a sudden, and it's like, I'm now going to my friend's shop. And it's like, in my head, I kept thinking, something keeps stopping me from going home. Something keeps stopping me from going to immigration. I tried handing myself in Phuket. They've told me to leave because I didn't have money. I've then come to Bangkok. I've ended up getting in with all these Thai people, sort of surviving. I've then now I'm outside, literally 5 minutes away from. I was literally finishing a can of Chang at this place before I walked into the immigration. I've got a phone call as I'm literally 2 minutes away. I kept thinking something keeps telling me not to do this, not to do this, not to do this. So I've gone to my friend's shop. See, he's got the cannabis shop there. He's got the farm and everything. He's doing quite well for himself. Sort of again explained to him the situation. He's gone, oh look, like just chill out for a few days. He booked me a hotel on his phone, sort of in his name. Booked me a hotel on his phone for a few days. But I didn't realise this hotel now is back now down on Khao San Road. He's given me it was the D&D Inn hotel down
Oh
on
yeah, and
Khao
that's
San
a
Road.
famous one, yeah.
Yeah, it's nice quite hotel. I said this boy he's been good friend of mine 20 plus years, so he didn't think twice about helping me out. He's then sort of said like, oh, do you need to get hold of anyone? I was like, look, I can get some bit of money sent. My dad said he was going to send me a little bit. It's only about 10,000 baht, but that's enough to survive for a week or two, as long as I don't go too crazy, sort of thing. I was like, yeah, can my dad send it to your account? Because obviously I've still not got a bank account at this point. He's gone, yeah, yeah, that's fine. So my dad sent him the money, he's giving me the money. I've now got this hotel booked, sort of right on middle of Khao San. I've got 10,000 baht in my pocket. I think now everyone knows what I've done. Um, yeah, gone straight back to the bar that I knew with my Burmese friends. I'm now sitting there doing all this. I've ended up going down to Sukhumvit, sitting my Thai Tuk friends down there having a party with them, sort of saying like, yeah, I'm going home. Got the money and all this. So, like, bought them a couple of beers. Then ended up seeing a sort of local working girl. So, yeah, you're coming back with me for the night. That's that's a little 2,000 baht down. And then yeah, literally, I've had gone out sort of 2 nights in a row, spent the whole 10,000 in 2 days. Um,
It's easily done.
so easily,
Easily done.
yeah. Because again, everywhere you go, you think you're getting a good deal, you think you're doing this, but then like yeah, you get a good deal on the drink. So the place I was going, I was getting buckets of big Singer. Singer was my drink out there. I was getting 5 big bottles for 450 baht, which is quite good compared to a lot of places on Khao San. But I'm going through 3 buckets in a day, so that's 1,000 baht just there on drink. Then by the time I've got a taxi somewhere, I've done this. Like I said, if I want to sort of entertain a female friend for the night, that's another 2,000 baht down the drain. Um, so yeah, at this point, that's sort of 5,000 baht in a day before I've even realised it. And then, like an idiot, the sort of following day, I thought, oh yeah, that'd be a good thing to do. I'll go and do the same thing. Because the thing with me, I think, all right, I'm only going to have 2 or 3 drinks today. I'm just going to go say hello to my friends. I'm going to have 2 or 3. But then once you're down there and the music's going and all of a sudden it's getting dark and you're getting everyone sort of coming out. And at this point, I've had 3, 4 beers. So, oh, yeah, I've got a few thousand baht in my pocket. I should really save this. But no, I'm going to get 5 more drinks. And then it'd be the sort of thing of, oh, do you want a drink? I'll be inviting staff over because I knew they didn't have anything. Like, I'll be, oh yeah, come and have a drink with me when you finish. So then I'm sitting there drinking with all like Burmese and Thai people and that. And yeah, like I said, literally 2 days easily. Yeah, whole 10,000 is gone. Luckily, I did still have the hotel for a few nights.
Is that what happened then? You go through this money, spend all this money,
Yeah,
and then you hand yourself in.
yeah, well, kind of. It's about another three weeks after this. I got to the point of handing myself in. That's how long I still.
And was your mate paying for the hotel for those
Yeah, so my
three
mate paid for
weeks?
the hotel for 5 days. He sort of knew I needed to go to immigration, hand myself in, and things like this. But the thing with him, and the reason why I do consider him a good friend, he won't fund me doing a stupid life. If he knows I'm doing stupidness with it, not actually helping myself, he's one of them sort of tough love sort of friends. Yeah, he wouldn't if he knew I'm sitting there going out drinking on Khao San Road every night, he wouldn't sit there and pay for my room to go and do that. He wouldn't give me money to go and do that. Obviously he's thinking I'm sitting in my hotel every night, just sort of relaxing, going for a bit of food, and then I'm gonna go home in sort of a few days. I've ended up contacting him when the rooms run out and sort of said, look, I spent the money. He knows what I'm like. So he's gone, you've been out, haven't you? You've been out partying. So I've gone like, yeah, like I went out a couple of nights, I partied, like sort of thing, sorry and all this, like, do you know what I mean? He's gone, yeah, he's like, well, but I'm not helping you. He's like, you need to go on. He's like, I'm not helping you anymore. I was like, all right, do you know what I mean? I understand, fully understand. Like, I'm 35 years old. I'm nearly 35 years old. He's mid 30s himself. He's got business. He's got a wife. He's got his own problems to worry about. He doesn't need to have a 34-year-old man that he's got to worry about as well. He's done me one favor by helping me, and he was sort of a bit like, no, like I'm not doing it anymore. Which I sort of, again, I do fully understand why he wouldn't help me and didn't help me again. He sort of said like, look, when you get home, message me. I hope you're okay. Like, I hope you obviously don't have to go to prison and things like this. But if that's what you have to do, mate, to get home, that's what you have to do. So I'm like, yeah, okay. At this point, I'm now back to got nowhere to stay. I'm now on Khao San Road. I'm at you got the police station at the top of Khao San Road.
Yeah, it's the new
Um,
station. Yeah.
yeah, the new one, yeah. I've then walked in there. I've gone, look, I need to get to the embassy, or I need to get to immigration. I was like, I've not got any money because the taxi, a grab from Khao San to Saton was about 400 baht. I've not got 400 baht at this point. So I've got into the police station. They said, look, I've overstayed my visa. I've got no passport. Here's the police report to say I lost my passport in Phuket. I was like, look, I'm homeless. I've got nowhere to stay. I just need to get. Can you basically either get immigration to come here and get me? Can I hand myself in here at the police station? Straight away, they basically said they don't speak English and to call the tourist police on the phone. So I've called the tourist police, again, told them what's happened. They've gone, yeah, you need to go to Saton, you need to go to immigration. I'm like, I know this, but I've not got the money or any way to get there. Like, so I can't get there. Like, I just need some help to get to immigration. I can go and hand myself in, and I'll deal with that there. And they basically gone, we're not a taxi. Walk. They basically said walk. I've looked at my phone. It's a long old walk.
Yeah, I suppose probably about 6 or 7 K, is it?
Yeah, at least, yeah, from Khalsan to Saton. So I'm a bit like now I'm a bit angry. But again, I'm trying to do the right thing. This is the third time now I've gone to a sort of official or to police or to immigration and sort of said like, look, I've overstayed. I'm full on telling them I've overstayed my visa. I've got no visa. Like, basically, please arrest me. Like, I'm asking them to arrest me and take me to immigration. Like, I just want this over with. I need to start. The sooner I get the process going, the sooner I can get home. But it's like, no, leave. So now
And imagine it's stressful for you. I can imagine standing outside immigration and going, right, I'm going to walk in here and hand myself in. Then you make that decision to walk
yeah,
in there, and then you go in there, here I am. And
yeah,
they say to leave again, then you leave again, and all of a
yeah,
sudden your mind starts going,
yeah. So yeah, this is the police station at on Khalsan, not the immigration in Saton. So this is the actual Thai police. I'm sitting there now saying like, look, I've overstayed my visa. I need to go to immigration. Can you either arrest me here and immigration come and get me, or can you take me to immigration? They basically said, no, we're not taxi. Go. And what their excuse was where I didn't have a passport with my visa stamp, there was no proof that I had committed an overstay crime. So they had no reason to arrest me. That was their
they couldn't
reason.
take your word for it, no?
No.
Like, who goes in and says, I'm out on overstay? It's the last
Yeah,
thing you're going to do.
that's what I mean. I'm basically asking them to arrest me. I'm on Khalsan Road being asking to be arrested in Bangkok. I'm sort of thinking, what have I got to do? Like, to sort of do this. Have I got to go and do something stupid to get arrested and then go to prison and get deported? Or my mind's now thinking 101 things again. But then again, at this point, say where you're at, say I'm at the police station, top of Khalsan. You can walk right to go to where they're like down towards the Burger King and things like that. Or you can walk left and you go down to that road and you've got the roundabout with all the pictures of the king and everything on it. There's a road down there. It's quite infamous. There's a lot of famous, not famous, homeless. It's quite famous for the homeless people.
Yeah, it's
Lot,
down near
lot.
the park, is it?
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
one. Yeah. I knew they went and there's like donations happen there every night. So basically, if you go down there between 6 p.m. and midnight, you get people come and give you free food. So I'm thinking, right, at least I know about this place. I can go there, get some food. So I've gone there. I'm eating now. Some women's obviously spotted me again. I'm probably the only foreigner in this place, like sort of asking for free food from homeless donations. Some women's come past me. I'm sort of sitting on this bit of concrete, just sort of eating my food. She's come. She's like, you're not okay. You're not okay. Like, she's not speak good English. She's like, you're not okay. You're not okay. And I'm like, no. Like, I sleep here tonight. Like, I sleep here. She's like, no, come with me. This is what I mean about the Thai people to you. I can never ever say a bad word about some of the Thai people. She's gone, no, come with me. She's gone, how long you need? How long you stay? I've got, look, I just need to get to Saton. Like, I don't even need to stay here. I just need to get to Saton so I can hand myself into the proper immigration in Saton and then pay my fine. I was like, I just need like to get 5,000 baht and I can go. And then she's like, okay, like, do you want hotel? Like, you want shower, like food? So I'm like, yes, like, of course, I would like. At this point, it's about 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm right near the top of Khao San Road. She's then took me down she's using the Google Translate on her phone to sort of communicate with me, saying, "Oh, have you spoke to your family and things like this?" I'm like, "Yeah, but my dad, he doesn't get paid again for probably another month. There's no one that can help me." And to be honest, at this point, I'm fed up of every time I'm speaking to people, I'm asking for help. They're getting annoyed with me. I'm getting annoyed just having to ask all the time. So I sort of stopped. And yeah, she's ended up taking me into this hotel. It's round the back of Khao San, sort of down one of the little side roads by the top of Khao San. She's gone, look, you stay here sort of for 1 week. She booked for me. The hotel was 900 baht a night. Nice hotel. She paid for me for a week, about 8,000 baht.
Wow.
Um, Paid it outright. And again, I'm not like, this is a lot of money to local Thai people. So I'm sort of thinking like, oh, who is like this person? Do you know what I mean? Sort of looks like a bit of an older woman, but she's got a COVID mask on, so I can only ever see her eyes. I've never seen the woman's face.
No
Um,
way.
every time I speak to her, she'd always have a COVID mask on. Didn't know whether she was lady boy, lady. I don't know. Like she talked to me through Google Translate on her phone, and then she was like, basically, she was like, "You stay here 1 week. She's like you get like they used to say, oh, you safety. Like you stay here, safety, and we help you." So I'm like, okay. And literally, she's paid outright my room for a week. She'd wake me up knocking on my door at the room because she stayed in the same hotel that I was staying in. She'd wake me up knocking on my door every morning, come and give me 2,000 baht every single morning at 9 a.m. Going, this for food, this for food today.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
a lot of money for a Thai person to hand over.
yeah, and I'm thinking like she's like good karma again. That's all they used to say. Good karma for me, good karma for me. Like obviously, I will say this, I've not been back in England too long. I've been back sort of like I said, just over a month and a half. I've got all these people numbers written down, all their contact details, and if I ever get to the point where I am able to, I would change these people's lives back out there. There's not any amount of money that I could send to them to repay them, but yeah, that's something that I do plan to do once I'm back on my feet in England again.
Yeah, I mean, it does say a lot about them. I mean, they're to help someone in the
Yeah,
lowest moment of their life,
yeah.
to be that generous. It says a lot about that kind of a person that would do
Yeah.
that.
And the fact that it wasn't just one person, this is now the fourth or fifth person now that has took me in, got me somewhere, made sure that I'm okay. Like if I was in England, I'd be sitting there having to get my guitar out and try and play a song on the street to get a few quid in a cup.
Oh, they'd be
Like,
stepping over you. You could be
yeah,
bleeding out on the street and people would still step over you.
yeah, exactly. Like whereas there, which is why again I've sort of why I fell in love with Buddhist countries as well. Obviously the way they are with the Buddhism, like karma is one of the main things for them. So they believed that what they was doing for me would eventually get them to have a better life in the future, or their family would have a better life in the future. But yeah, she's coming to me every day. Like I said, bringing me 2,000 baht every single morning. So and I was like, he walked down the alley, and I was right in the middle of Khao San Road. So at this point, I sort of know like right, I'm here for a week. She's going to give me the money to go to immigration with and everything, and then yeah, everything's going to be sort of sorted out. I've got a week to sort of just sit here, enjoy myself, get some good food in me, sort of be able to have a shower every day. And after that, come to the last night. She was like, "Oh, like today you go." I was like, "Yeah, yeah, today I'll go." So okay, like what you need? So I said to her like, "Oh, like I just need money for taxi, um, and I need some money for basically for when I go to the immigration. I'm gonna need money for that and money for court." So she's gone. She's given me uh that 7,000 baht. She's given me. Um, so I've booked. She's gone right. Go. She's written down a number for me. Her name was Chompon. She's written down a number for me. She was like, "You tell me when you home. Like, tell me when you get home." I'm like, "Okay. Thank you." Like doing all the like cup of my cup. Thank you so much and all this. Like I'm almost in tears saying goodbye to this woman. She's sort of tearing up a bit as well. And then I said to her, I was like, "Oh, like, can I ask that question?" She's like, "Yes, okay." I'm like, "How you get this? how you have money like this? Most Thai people, they don't have like, and she didn't go to work. She wasn't working. Like she didn't seem like a bar girl. Like I wouldn't ever see her in like the dresses or anything going out late at night. Like, and she'd go over to um she basically loved to gamble. That was her thing.
So
So
that
she
was the
would,
winnings.
yeah. So basically, she was thinking that I was a good karma for her bets. So the fact that she was helping me was making her win every day and all the time on the in the casinos. So yeah, so that was what she was thinking, that her helping me was making her, because basically the first night she helped me, she had a big win in the casino. So
Oh, so that was you were her
she
like
yeah,
lucky
she
lucky
basically wanted
charm.
to carry on helping me because every day she was now winning. Um, so yeah, that was sort of quite. I was like, okay, like thank you, like being honest, that sort of thing. Like again, thank you so much. I don't know what I would have done without you, sort of thing. Yeah, I've ended up leaving, getting on a motorbike taxi. Sort of said bye to her. Went and said bye to my friends down on Calston Road. Sort of had a couple farewell sort of drinks with them. Gone down to the immigration. This was on a Friday. Got to the IDC in Saturn. Back outside the Saturn immigration now, and I've eventually gone in. So I'm in now. There's no turning back. Like I've gone through the gates. I'm at the thing. I've said, look, I'm here to self-surrender. At this point, I was 192 days overstay.
Coming up in part 2.
The big orange gates have opened. We've gone in. Now straight away, blokes come. Big massive wooden baton smashing the side of the van. Out, bah. She's go. I'm sitting there, I'm like, now like everyone's running, sprinting, we're all handcuffed to each other. And she's standing there fully naked. And all of a sudden he comes by one, took the wooden baton thing, he basically puts it under your balls, lifts your balls up, looks underneath, everything.